Hey everybody, it's Carolyn from Crop Candy Scrapbooking, and welcome to my YouTube Live. I've been playing around with YouTube Live. This is my second one, and I thought today I would come on and do a Valentine's Day layout. Um, Quick and easy, something that you can put together pretty quickly. I also just want to bring up that if you are looking for Valentine's Day projects, if you go to cropcandy.net, that's my website, you'll have a plethora of Valentine's Day projects that you can make. A lot of them are very kid friendly, so if you have scraps laying around the house and you want to make any of those projects, you can go ahead and do that. So today's layout, as I said, is a Valentine's Day layout. It showcases one photo, and it was made entirely with everything in my stash and my handy dandy. Let me move this. My Cricut machine. I'm not going to turn on the Cricut today. There's an element of Cricut that I will show you, but I'm not going to turn it on today because who wants to see the machine running back and forth? I mean, some people like that, but I can't do it sped up, so it would look kind of, you would be bored. So uh, I'm just going to show you what I did with it. This project was also designed in Cricut Design Space. You do not need Cricut Design Space in order to replicate it, but if you are interested in actually using some of the tools in there, I will go ahead and show you. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second. Um, I'm going to share my screen in terms of what you will see when you click on the link to actually go into Design Space and to look at the project. Give me a second, I'm learning the technology. Okay, I just need to figure out, I think if you're seeing everything on Design Space, let me know. Just put something in the chat box that says, I see it. And then I will proceed. Okay, so when you click on the link in Design Space, you would it would open up your own Design Space file, or I'm sorry, Design Space account. You do need access to, I think it's called Cricut Access in order to, yeah, it says up here, Cricut Access, in order to see it. But it would open up to this, and then you would just click on that file. Of course, I'm not in the right window. Okay, so you would come here and it would tell you these are the elements that are used in the project. Like I said, all of these are actual die cut SVGs in here. Very simple to make. Now, if I went ahead and said make it, you would get to your canvas. And my internet, for some reason, always decides to slow down between 1 and oh, you know what I should have done is customize. Sorry. My internet always slows down between 1 and 4 p.m. I guess everybody's on, and my husband is in the other room on a Zoom call, so everything's slowed down. All right, here we go. So when you get to your canvas, your layout would appear here or something like that. If you're into astrology, you know that Mercury retrograde is going on now. So anything that has to do with technology is just going to be messed up. All right, here we go. So this is, yeah, there we are. Hello. Okay. So this is what the layout is. I actually designed this layout in Cricut Design Space. Um, I'll go over the elements. This is just basic, cardstock strips. These are some photo corners. The white here is a photo placement. Um, this is a print then cut. So you would, have a color printer, print this out, and then put it on the Cricut, and it'll cut it out for you. These are just strips. This is vellum here, and this is the pen tool. So I tried to use like a bunch of different things. This die cut here, I'm actually using a different die cut on my layout. It's one of my SVGs you may have seen. called You and Me. I'm not allowed to put my own die cut up in here because it's not part of Cricut Design Space. But if you do want access to it, I will leave a link to that in the YouTube description below. So that's what everything. Oh, and one more thing. This part here, these hearts here, are actually debossed, right? So I wanted to use the debossing tool to give it a different look here. So you'll see that on the actual layout when we go over that. So I'm going to shut that down. I'm going to come back to me. Or try to. Like I said, I'm learning this technology and it's quite interesting. All right, there I am. Okay, so I'm going to show you all the materials that I'm using in this layout. I'm going to switch cameras. Let's see how that works out. All right, here we go. So these are all the materials that I'm using. So we've got basic cardstock here, pattern paper. These are my own personal SVGs that I was using. I brought both of them out so you could see how you could change the layout with either one of these. We've got the photo corners that you saw. Here's the print then cut heart. Here's the vellum. These are the individual strips that you saw at the bottom. And then I'm going to be using brads. And I'm keeping them here in this thing because I lost one earlier, right like 5 minutes before we came on. And I'm using these sparkle gems. And some ribbon from Michaels. So let's go ahead and get started. And actually, this layout is actually a few years old. I don't know if any of you remember or may not have known, but years ago I'll just show you a company called the Scrapbook School, and I used to make page layout kits. And this is actually a project that I unearthed, and I thought it would be very cool to show you guys how to do that project with in Cricut Design Space. All right, so here's the base. Now, what's interesting is with the debossing tool, you can't unfortunately really see it. You could kind of see it there, but I don't know. I think this is basil paper, and if you're familiar with basil paper, you know it's heavily textured, so this may not have been the best paper for me to use as my background, but I just got the debossing tool and I wanted to play with it. And so that's what I decided to do. Okay, so if you remember, we had strips at the top and the bottom. I've already torn this, but basically if you want to show white, you tear towards you like that. And that was again done so that you could see the space. In the original project, I actually had some, I was using this paper here in the center like that. So you could still do that. I decided to change it up because like I said, I wanted to play with that debossing tool and that didn't really work out. So let's go ahead and put these strips here on the top and the bottom. And I'm just using a tape runner. So if anybody has any Valentine's Day plans, go ahead and leave a comment below and let me know what you guys are doing. I am not doing anything special this year. Last year, this time, my husband and I were taking a cooking class. I remember it was a very cold night, and we took a cooking class where we had steak and lobster tails and some mac and cheese with Old Bay seasoning. That was interesting. I don't really remember everything else about the meal. I can't tell you if there was anything green on the menu. I mean, there could have been. I don't remember because there was plenty of wine, and I do remember that. And it was fun. I thought that it was going to be an intimate setting of like, um, I don't know, 10 people in the class. And then it turned out to be like, I don't know, 50. They like crowded 50 people into that classroom. It was crazy. And I don't even know how they kept, track of all of the people's dishes. I remember you had to write your names on the dishes, and it was nutty, but it was fun. Okay, so this section here for this part of the layout, I'm actually going to be putting these strips down, and then, as I said, I use the vellum and I use the Cricut pin tool, and I'm just going to lay the vellum on like that and attach it with brads. So let's just go ahead and lay these strips down. And I'm not making them straight up and down. I'm sort of putting them down kind of haphazardly just to make it interesting. And the beauty, like I said, the beauty of this project is there is nothing on this layout that is new except for the Cricut debossing fiasco there. um, Everything is from my stash. And like I said, I'm going to put those brads here, and I'm going to use this paper piercing tool with this mat here, and I'm going to just slip that under here. I don't want to use glue on this vellum. I have a video I shot yesterday that'll be out in a couple of days where I used vellum and I used glue, and I said, oh, it'll dry clear. Nope. So I haven't used vellum in many years, and I am trying to get back into it, and because I like the effect that it gives, but it is, you gotta do some tricks in order to actually glue it on the page. And this paper piercer, I think I injured myself at one point years ago, which is why I don't really use it. I usually use my paper puncher, but I can't get the paper puncher. And the I do have a Big Bite, a We Are Memory Keepers Big Bite, but it's actually holding the tripod down so that my camera doesn't tip over. So I have to break out the old school tools in order to do this. And the reason why it has name and name, those are not actually names of people. But if you decide to go and use the link here in Design Space, that is for you to fill in whoever you want this to be about. All right, so now we're going to add the photo layer. So this space here I've left for I believe it was a 5x7 photo mat. So I'm going to get my trimmer out. If you're not familiar with how to use a trimmer, one of my most popular videos of all time is how to use a paper trimmer. I made that back in 2012, I think, and it still gets a lot of traction. So what I'm doing is I'm going over here, I'm looking for the 5-inch mark, which of course is not really shown here. This arrow is the 5.5-inch mark. That's what I marked for myself at one point. But I know that 5 inches is usually like the edge of this thing. So what you do is you put the width over here to 5, and then down here on this side, let me just bring the trimmer up for those who don't know how to use the trimmer. There's a ruler here. I'm gonna slide this down to the 7-inch mark, which is about, yeah, right there. Lift up the arm, and then I'm gonna put the paper back in because I need to cut this piece clean. And I'm gonna come over here to the 7-inch mark because that's where we said the height of that piece was going to be, and voila. So that's my photo mat, and I'm going to put that right there. I am all about quick and easy. Scrapbooking should not be stress-inducing as it is for, I know some folks get really stressed out about scrapbooking. It's like, don't. Do not. All right, so I'm going to use this pattern paper here to make another photo mat, and this was, like I said, 5 by 7. So I'm going to tick it back down because my photo's like 4 by 6, I believe. So I'm going to tick this back down 1/4 of an inch. So that would put me at 475 by 675. 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And again, that bloody little trimmer with the little markings over here. So each of these lines is 1/4 inch. So this would be 4 1/4, 4 1/2, 4 3/4. So I said 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I'm going to come down. It's kind of hard to see with the clear ruler and this text, but I think that's about it. Flip it over to 6 3/4, which is about here. I think I made a mistake, but yeah, I don't know about that. Nope, that's not it. All right, we'll try again. Oh boy, live video, folks. All right, so what did I say? 4 3/4 by 6. You know what? I'm gonna go down to 7, and then that'll ensure that I have enough space. Here we go. 6 and oops. Let me cut that. We said 6. Oh, 6 3/4. Here we go. Duh. I was doing it at 4 3/4 or 5 3/4. No wonder it was short. All right, there we go. FYI, I have a ton of, like, I don't know, I feel like I have 50 sheets of this because, again, when I was making these kits as part of my page kit business, you know, I bought these items in bulk, so I have a ton. So if anybody's interested, send me an email, info@cropcandy.net. Let me know. I can hook you up. All right, so that's that. And so I could conceivably just put my picture on top of that. You know, I don't know if I want to do that because of the text right there is kind of busy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this black and I'm going to do yet another mat. And like I said, my photo is 4 by 6, so I will probably do this at 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. Get rid of that. And my mats are stacking up at 1/4 of an inch between each one, right? So I could do that if I wanted to, but I just remembered, let me pull this down so you can see. You could do that. But I also just remembered that my particular photo corners are in black too, so that may not work. But, you know, if you wanted to stack your mats that way, you could do that. So I don't know. I may or may not. I don't know. That's actually not bad. All right, so let's go ahead and lay that down. That is my husband in the picture, and that was my last day of my last job in 2018. At my going away party. And my hair was different, clearly, as you can tell. I have COVID hair and I'm keeping it. All right, so here are my photo corners, and this is what I mean. I probably should not have done the photo corners in black because you can't really see them that well. I mean, it's okay. I probably would have picked a different color photo mat, but you know, for the sake of this, we're working live, so this is what happens. I'm using my Xyron sticker to put my die cuts in. I usually use the Xyron for die cuts because many times these things are so delicate and tiny and you cannot accurately glue anything on without them. There we go. Now it's got some of that gunk on it. I will clean that up later with a gum eraser, but for now we keep it moving. I'll do the other one. These just arrived today, yesterday. As I said, I was working on some upcoming videos for YouTube and I ran out and I was using a glue pen to try to glue these things, and that was like a nightmare. So thank God for Amazon delivery. I'm surprised. They said it was going to come Saturday and it came today on Friday, so woohoo! Okay, now I'm going to decorate my photo corners. That might help them stand out a little bit with these little crystals. I love these crystals. They're from Close to My Heart. I don't know if Close to My Heart still makes them, but if they do, you should pick some up. I'm not a Close to My Heart seller anymore, so you can't get them from me, but actually, nope, that's not a color I want. I wanted the pink. So I'm going to scoot that guy off. And yeah, should have enough for that. So I'm going to put them on these little, they have little finials or whatever on these photo corners, so I'm just covering them up. I like anything glittery or just sparkle gems. You will see that as a recurring element on all of my scrapbook layouts, because why not? Okay, so that's that. We're coming along, making progress. Okay, so we've got our photo, we have our name. I'll probably take this off and put me and Brian's names on here. And then we've got our titles. So these, I was going to use this one, but you could also use this one. You know, both of these are available in my store, cropcandy.net/shop. So I'm going to use this one because that's what I originally had, but I wanted to show you another option that you could use for this layout. And I'm going to have to use the glue pen on that because this is not going to fit in the sticker maker. At least not this, the X. I have a larger one, but I have to get the adhesive for that one. So how are you liking this layout so far, guys? Is this something you think you can do on your own? It's pretty simple. And like I said, I'll leave the pattern. You can do this in Cricut Design Space, or you can do it just by following the pattern, which I will leave on my website, cropcandy.net. And I'll link to that. And you're like, where are the holes? Here we go. I have to keep these separate. So these are the fills to the ampersand there. And that goes. I think that's how that goes. Or is it down here? It might be down here. I don't know. I think it's, yeah, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's how it works. Yeah, because the top goes there. Oops. Didn't get enough glue on it. I probably need to put these into the Xyron. I'm thinking that would make it easier. That's close enough. I am doing this kind of away from me so that you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so that's that. I'll probably fix that later. For right now, that's how that goes. Or you could leave it out completely. It's up to you. And then for the final piece is this heart that I did on the print then cut. And I'm going to just do something really simple. I'm going to punch a hole in the side here. Just like so. Oh, that's not big enough. I did not pull the right size hole punch. This is the one I want. There we go. And I'm going to get my ribbon. And I like to cut my ribbon at an angle so that you don't get that fraying. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but for the most part it does work. And this is nothing fancy. It's just, you know, this is just something I'm doing. Just as an accent. And for my final touch, I'm going to use these, what's the size? These are adhesive, dimensional adhesive tabs, just to help the heart pop off the page a little bit. I recommend having these in your stash if you don't already have them. They totally make elements pop off your page. Just gives it just a different, gives it some dimensionality, if that's a word. Okay, and then I'll just add that to layout, and that's that. And that took 30 minutes, maybe less than that, because I've been on for about 30 minutes, so maybe it took about 20 minutes. But you see how easy this was? Again, just using simple cardstock. Let me see if I can zoom out. Oop, there we go. Just zoom out a little bit. Just using simple cardstock and die cuts from Cricut and other elements from my stash, and you can make a quick and easy scrapbook layout. All right, I'm coming back to me. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed me watching me make that layout. I'm going to come back on next week for another live, not Valentine's Day related, but we are going to be talking about pattern papers. So the last, I guess was my last live, I talked about how you can make quick and easy layouts using one paper packet, that the paper companies have made it easy for you to mix and match papers, because I know that's challenging for a lot of people But if you get the right paper packet with all the elements in it, you can make a layout just like that. So we're going to do that next week. And in fact, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share what kind of layout I'm going to make, like a sketch, because I think I said I was going to do it from a sketch. And I'm going to share the sketch with you. I'm going to make recommendations for the paper, and then we're going to do it together next week. And so I look for that information when I post the schedule for the next live. So if you have any ideas for me in terms of what you would like to see on Facebook Lives, I'm doing a test. Like I said, I might do this once a month and have a regularly scheduled crop time where we just make layouts or make a project. So if there's anything you'd like to see from me, let me know. You can send me an email at info@cropcandy.net. Or you can use the contact page on my website. Please visit cropcandy.net if you're interested in purchasing SVGs. I've got some SVGs in stock on the store, and like I said, these are for Valentine's Day. You can use them on scrapbook layouts, you can use them on like a t-shirt or what have you. So I'm adding new SVGs regularly, so be sure to check them out there. And if you want to join my emailing list, you can just come on to the website, and I have like a little email form, and you'll be able to stay abreast of what's the latest project ideas and tips and techniques and all of that good stuff. So thank you for watching. I enjoyed making the layout for you today. Next week I'm gonna give you guys homework because I want to see you next week, and we're gonna do a layout together. And I hope to see you back here next Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Take care.